All right, kids, we have a busy one today. Take a look at what we got. Excuse me if I talk with my mouth open. I've been up since 4 o'clock and I haven't had anything to eat, and we're rolling into lunchtime already. So somebody had one of my dumpsters for a week, and this is all that's in it. And funny enough, all the wood scraps, drywall, and stuff that you see on top, along with that cabinet, that's from me. If you follow the channel, you've been following for a while, you know that we have the apartment that I bought and that we're remodeling. So anytime I get a light dumpster, the first thing I do is I top it off with some of my own stuff. Nothing's better than getting topped off.
Nice.
So after I tossed all that stuff in here, I got a little bit of painting done this morning, but we're to the point where I can't do much over there until everything dries. Look at all that. I got paint on the side. I kept thinking that was food. So what I think I'm going to do is go on to another project that I was going to wait a few days to do. But since we have a light dumpster, we're going to try something out. And the rest of the breakfast on the go. Okay, so in reality, this should be a rather small job, but it always tends to be my smallest jobs that give me the biggest headaches because something goes wrong. Hence why we're here now. We'll see what happens. This is it though. Little shed. Needs to come down. Not much to it at all. Kind of nice. There's a lot of room on the back side, a lot of room on the side here. We're not gonna have to worry about clipping the house. I don't know why we would. We do have electric running from a conduit under the ground, so we'll have to watch that. I do know the power is disconnected and they want to save the power because a new shed is going to go here. This thing truly isn't in that bad of shape, but if you do notice, there's a very tiny door on both sides. You know, nowadays people will have lawnmowers they like to put in there. Could you cut in a bigger hole? Yeah, but I'm not the customer. If a customer wants to pay me to play with my big orange toy, I'll play with my big orange toy. This big orange toy, you sickos. The cool thing is I didn't have to bring this here this morning. I had a customer that had this on rent. They finished today with it. And then they said, do you want me to take this back to the shop? I said, you know what? I'll save you a trip. I know you're right down the road. Drop it off at this address and I'll just use it right away. One last bit of running around that it kind of saved me. Nice thing too, full fuel, baby. Guy always uses different controls than I do. I like those like ISO controls, I think is what they're called. So I always have to switch them back, and it always freaks me out when I go to lift my bucket and it doesn't do it the way that I expect. I think the only thing that I really have to navigate here is there is a slight hill. So working on that is gonna be a little tough, and they have really nice grass. So I'm gonna do my best not to tear it up entirely. We're all about efficiency here too. So I've got Keegan out running dumpsters right now. I think he is dropping off a third one this morning. Then he's picking one up to get emptied. And when he gets that emptied, I'm gonna have him come back here. He's gonna grab this one. And if I need him to, I'm gonna have him give me that empty one. I really am gonna see what we can do here. I'm gonna stuff as much of that shed in there as I can, because all of our dumpsters are on rent. And the less that I am like taking those up for my own projects, the more we can rent them out to customers. So let's get this dumpster into place and stuff a big shed into a tiny dumpster. Still kind of a tight space.
Hammer time.
So we were really careful with this side. You got your conduit, which is actually rusted out. Goes up, you got a breaker that's separate from the house here. We made sure all that was off. Now what we're gonna do so they can save it is we're gonna cut this piece and just set it to the side and then demo everything else out. There we go. Save that to the side. Okay, so I know a few of you scrappers are gonna say it. I'm pulling the metal out, but I will likely still not take that to the scrapyard. The only reason I'm pulling it out right now, or as much of it as I can, is because it takes up a lot of room, all mangled up inside the dumpster, making it harder to compact. This is only worth a couple bucks, guys, so this is more cost effective to just toss it, rather than take another trailer load of that sheet metal to the scrapyard. I will say though, if this thing gets so full that the only bit that's left is this, then I will take it to the scrapyard with that empty dumpster, because I'd rather just get that out of here than, you know, have this shoved in there, mangled up as we go down the road. We don't need DOT messing with us. For a small shed, there is a lot of that stuff. Okay, add it to the toolbox. Okay guys, sometimes it really is good to do a little bit of handwork in the middle, just to make your life easier. One last thing I want to toss in by hand is glass window. One less mess to pick up, and it survived getting knocked down except for that little bit. Alley-oop. Back in action, baby. Okay, so we've only been here about 45 minutes, I'd say, at least working. And Keegan just gave me a call. He said he's an hour out. So we got an hour to basically get this pile cleaned up and then do as much, you know, clean up by handwork that we can. And I think we're going to be able to stuff it in this dumpster. There was probably less than 10 yards available, and look at that. We still got room. No time to waste now, though.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You
My
broke
back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or
Well,
what portion?
Spinal.
Made a little bit of an amateur mistake here because even though the stars aligned and I was able to get here sooner rather than I expected, I didn't come as prepared as I should have. We got a little bit of debris, just a little bit in the yard. Keep in mind, I didn't Julie this, so the only reason I'm not just scooping all this up is I don't want to end up accidentally clipping a line I don't know about. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go take a lunch and I'll come back with a rake and get this all kind of cleaned up nice and neat. Always leave the job site looking better than you showed up. Nutritious. Now if you look at that, if I would have looked a little harder, I would have seen they're sitting right there in the corner. Okay, we're getting it, but man, am I really doing this stuff by hand? I am gonna go get a magnet after I get done here for all the nails. But I'm trying to get all just a little bits of drywall. Homeowner wasn't worried about this spot since the door is going to be on this side. This is all getting re-landscaped, so it's kind of why we weren't so careful right here. But it does suck because since it was gravel, it's all just dragged in here. But again, since we didn't Julie anything, I don't want to start taking buckets and buckets of stuff out of here and accidentally find a fiber line or something. Last scoop. Keegan gave me a call. He said he's on his way to come get this dumpster, so we're gonna get it set down here. He's gonna grab it. He's gonna head to the landfill with it, and I'm gonna continue on with my day, doing some more work on the apartment. But I'd say all this timing worked out well. I love it when projects come together like this. Efficiency is key, guys. Putting it on the downhill here should make it real nice and easy for him to back under, because it does have a little bit of weight to it. The customer before this one, who actually rented this dumpster originally, filled the bottom of it with shingles. So I still can't believe that nearly half this dumpster was full and we were able to stuff that shed in here. That's incredible. I love the Mini. Definitely have a little too much material in the back here, but it's still a relatively light load compared to some of our other demo stuff. It's not like it's concrete or plaster, it's old drywall that was on the inside, but we got all the nail boards up front. That way they don't clip the tarp all bad going down the road. All right, truck's out of the way. I will say this, we only have about 15 minutes for Keegan to show up here in time and get this thing picked up before the landfill closes. So I really hope he makes it because we got a full day tomorrow too. 10 minutes to spare. I gotta get one more piece before we call this job complete. Money.
I'll kill you.
Keegan, why are you so afraid you're not going to make it to the dump in time? Tell me.
10% of your YouTube sticks from now on.
Oh yeah? Tell me why.
Because I have to go number 2. Content creators now use other people's suffering for views.
Yes, we do. Okay, so hopefully Keegan makes it and he gets that thing emptied. But in the meantime, I'm going to run and grab the dumpster. He dropped it off over in a parking lot that's abandoned. That way we weren't moving around here in the neighborhood. I'm going to grab that dumpster, pick up this scrap. And while I'm out getting that, I think I'm going to go get a new magnet. Ours kind of took a crap, so I'm going to grab a magnet so we can roll this yard real quick. All right, I know I said I wasn't going to scrap this, but if you notice, it did take up some room. And I did realize it's only about 6 blocks to the scrap yard, to at least one of the small ones in town. So Guess we're going against my word. We are going to get rid of this now. Take a guess. What do you think that's going to cost? Or what it's going to make us? I'm thinking like 10 bucks. This is why I don't scrap small amounts of metal. I'm very worried right now. Wouldn't be worth it if we get a flat. Say a little prayer for these babies. Let's find out. $7 whole. Paid for my Red Bull today, I guess. All right, so that went all right. Keegan's moving on with that dumpster, and I just got another call, so once he's done with that, he's then gonna turn around and drop another. So full day of dumpsters today, nonetheless. But I've changed back into some painting clothes, and I'm gonna get to paint a little bit more today. I am honestly so tired of painting, but I will give you guys an update on the back unit of this apartment building. So it's coming together. We're gonna be working on the staircase. Earlier, I kind of cut all that in. That is gonna look so much more fresh than that nasty eggshell here. Move into here, we got that agreeable gray on the walls. I do love that color. And then let's go ahead and flip that light on. Look at that. Then we gotta patch that spot in the floor. After that, we can order some carpet. We've got some primer on this wall. It's got those slots to put racks on, so I'll probably keep that, just clean it up with some white instead of that dirty brown. And then we'll put some shiplap up on this wall, and on the opposing wall, a little bit stronger bit of wood because this is real flimsy. And then we'll run a big hanger post across here so that you've got some hanging space on the shelf. Of course, the oversized closet slash office slash gaming room is coming together very nicely. The kitchen is down to basically some freshening of the cabinets, and we'll reorganize, you know, where the refrigerator's at. Followed by the bathroom. Definitely need to get a toilet back in there. The amount of times I've been here and needed to use the toilet, I can't really use it in there. So if you look around, there's just this never-ending list of tiny things, you know, cleaning up the bathroom shower, getting trim down in every room, little tidbits of just the details are what we're at in this apartment. And of course, we got to get the washer and dryer hooked up too. So kind of seems like this never-ending to-do list, but if you remember what it looked like before up there, yeah, the potential is incredible for the finished product. Before I get back into that unit though, let me show you where we're at with the main unit. I call this the main unit because this will be the money maker. This is where we will have the most success. If you remember this unit, it was just crazy packed. I mean, the ceiling couldn't have been 7 foot tall. We're back up to about 10 foot. I mean, we got a lot of potential here because this could be set up as a living room for now with 2 bedrooms, but we're trying to keep it as basic as possible because if anybody ever wanted to turn this back into an office, you've got your, you know, desk here for your entrance. You've got your waiting room on this side. You've got plenty of bright light, and that's the whole idea. This is on a business district street, so it can be a luxury apartment or it can be a nice office space. We're gonna have the brick accent wall over here trimmed in. Come through here, you've got your half bath. Come over here, you got your hallway with your nook. Bedroom 1, which is, it's longer for an apartment, that's for sure. And then you've got bedroom 2, which I'm super excited for because in reality, this will be a very small bedroom, but you come in here to an oversized closet. Notice there's water that I left in here and electricity. That's because you're gonna have a washer and dryer hookup. So it could be a really big 1 bedroom with like a utility room and of course your washer and dryer. Come back here, we haven't got a whole lot done yet, but they've knocked out headers and everything to bring the ceiling all as one height, where before it used to have a big drop down. This is gonna be where a lot of money is spent because we still gotta cut in a shower over here. You've got your very, very large kitchen for an apartment and then a lot of storage space back there. So it is coming together. I know it's not really relevant to the video that you guys were watching a minute ago, but at the end of the day, this is my business. We're jumping back and forth from one thing to the next. We've got dumpsters going, we've got demos going, and we've got obviously the investment side of my business where we're always trying to improve these properties and rent them out. And this one has been a nightmare for me. Although a nightmare, I'm trying to see the end of the tunnel here because I think it's going to be one of my properties I'm most proud of when it's finished. I think it's going to be something I put the most amount of effort into, and I think I'll be happy to show it off. I never want to be a landlord that is embarrassed by the properties he owns. A slumlord at that point. I never want to be embarrassed by my properties. So we're going to knock out a little bit more painting. I had to grab my extended pole for that staircase, but we're going to check in here in a little bit. I think the homeowner said because we got it done so quickly, they put a deposit down on a shed, and next day the Amish said they could deliver it. You gotta love the Amish, they're hard workers. But I think it's time for me to get back to work. I really do love making these videos. I love when you guys tune in, but sometimes I just need to grind it out in my peace and quiet and get it done, and this place is one of those projects. So I'll catch you in the next one. I hope you decide to like, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned because we have a lot of cool things coming up. Keep grinding, y'all, and I'll see you next time.